Well, good morning, good afternoon, hello, happy Monday. Damon, how are you, dude?
I'm doing great, Curt. It's going to be fun.
How was your weekend, man?
It was awesome.
Man, it was just a great week. It was a great weekend to have a great weekend, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So, all right, so you're
Beautiful.
fully recovered, you ready to rock and roll here?
Yeah, I am.
All right, let's
We're
do
going to be
this. Let's
talking
go.
about website design for manufacturers. Going to have a little fun.
That's right. So, Damon, when we're talking website design for manufacturers, what's one of the first things what we want to do? Got to make a great first webpression, do we not?
Yes, we do.
Oh, all right. So we brought in two experts. Man, am I fired up. So we've got Paula Santana. Paula, how are you?
Good. I'm good. Yeah.
Happy Monday to you. We
Yeah.
got Jason Deering. Now, Jason, we just met a couple of weeks ago. Great to meet you here, right?
Just a couple of days ago. Yep.
So
Been a while.
awesome. So yeah, this poor Damon, this poor guy, like he's been stuck with me for 21 years. Can you believe that? 21 years that we've been jamming together. So Damon or Jason, we've been working on websites for a long time. And I can't even say like I had hair when I met Jason because I didn't have hair then. I don't have hair now. So it's been a long, stressful 20 whatever years for Jason, not for me. But so Jason, just talk a little bit about let's start with your website journey. And then let's dive into Paul, I'm going to jump over to you. But Jason, let's start there. Start with your website journey.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, internet's coming around. It's just starting to be a thing where people are starting to, realize that it's a new movement coming in the mid-90s. And I'm finishing up high school. In my mind, I want to be on that bandwagon. I want to make money on the internet. I had grand visions of what it was going to become. So, yeah, I went to college and started going into the computer science realm, then drifted off into the marketing and business management areas and kind of mixed all that together. And when I came out, went off and jumped right into the world of internet marketing and web design. I was lucky enough to find a company called buyamerican.com right off the bat here pretty close to me. And with that website, we sold American-made products for manufacturers, and we were a drop shipping site. So it's in the very early days, 2000, 2001 of drop shipping. And, so that was a terrific experience, just learning how to market products, how to build a website and set it up so that it was easy for the user to navigate. And, working with relationships with the manufacturers that we were trying to sell their products for. It was a great learning experience for me, getting going with all that and dabbling in all kinds of different realms of marketing. And then I left there and kind of found my way to Curt after a few years there. Working with Curt, we went from a decent online business as I got there in beginning stages. I mean, we're doing a couple tens of thousands. I think it was like 30,000 when I got there a month, something like that, which wasn't too bad as a go. When I left, it was nice big numbers. I think on one of our records, if I can say, was something like, I think it was close to 350,000 a month that 1 month. And I remember those little lunches that Curt bought us and everything. Celebrating was fantastic. But that was a great, that was my next step up into that world of creating a really powerful website, powerful marketing strategies. In the middle of that, stuff like social media was starting to blow up. So Facebook was starting to blow up. YouTube was starting to blow up. Twitter was starting to blow up all in that spell. We were out of those days of MySpace, or just fading out of the days of MySpace, and creating little music pages for our friends, getting out of that. And, YouTube was really starting to become a marketing tool. And we were quick to jump on that bandwagon back there, and blogging also. So we started diving into all that kind of marketing techniques, pay-per-click, all those kind of things. I eventually decided I wanted to move out on my own and do some freelance work and create a business of my own, doing marketing and website design. And Curt helped me set myself up so I could step out of that business and start my own business, and which was fantastic experience to get started. That was 2009, 2010, something like that. And yeah, I've been pounding pavement, building I've built now probably close to 180-ish websites, or worked on clients' marketing projects since then. Last 5 years, since just before COVID, just about COVID, we started working with manufacturers almost exclusively, and we've been really getting into the depths of how manufacturers buy from manufacturers, and that whole B2Btail relationship, trying to get just helping manufacturers find other customers and helping each other build fantastic American-made products, and learn so many different things in terms of getting leads and getting them to convert into clients and all that. It's been fantastic last 5 years working with manufacturers.
Wow, man, my goodness gracious. Who needs a breather after that one? So Paula,
Yeah.
how do you top that? So Jason, thank you for sharing, and just what an honor and privilege to be on this journey with you. You've been my partner in crime for a long time, dude. My respect, admiration for you off the charts. Plus, on top of it, he's just a great guy. He's a phenomenal dad and just a wonderful human being.
Mm-hmm.
Paula, let's come over to you. Just share a little bit about your background, your passion for marketing. You've been doing an amazing job helping manufacturers. Just walk us through a little bit of your journey and how you got into marketing.
It's not really as extensive. I mean, really, my, I'm a video editor, so it's just one of those things that the way to explain it is that as a creative person, you kind of do everything for a really long time. You try everything that it entails or that could use video editing. And so my history just started back when high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I loved movies, wanted to be in Hollywood, thought I could work in Hollywood. Then some random guy told me that I was too old to be in Hollywood, even though I was only 21, I think, and just graduated college or about to. And I kind of just I kind of got roadblocked a little bit, or allowed it to roadblock myself, and then just started doing editing on the side for like a church, for events, weddings, birthdays, graduations, funerals. That's a big one. Helping just create some memorial videos for loved ones who were lost, and it slowly trickled into more business-minded people where they just knew they needed a little bit more to showcase their services, showcase their products, and find some creative way to express what they had and why it would be a benefit to their customers, and why, just to sell that they existed. So, but it didn't get into marketing until later on. Probably, I think it was about, it was a long time ago now. I feel like maybe 7 years ago. Let's see, how long ago was COVID? That was 5. So probably 8 years ago now. Wow. I got into an air filtration company who was just amazing. They had a really great product, but not only a great product, it was a really great company. And first time I actually was a part of a company that cared about its employees and showed you what a good employer manager leadership style really was. And started working with the marketing there in helping them with their, just creating videos, not only internal videos for, training purposes or to show customers how to use the product, or the president's message, bringing life to their website, bringing life and humanity, a little human touch to the company itself. And so that's really where I started to get into marketing. I would never have called myself a marketer until probably the last 6 years, where I saw the effects of what a video could do, and then on top of that, creating graphics and flyers, and working for the local government highway district, helping them create posts for social media that would garner a lot of views and get their eyes on projects that were coming up in a fun way, to help kind of release that tension you already have in government with, oh my gosh, they're going to start working on our road again. Here comes the traffic. Here comes all of the, all the problems. So yeah, I just think marketing in general is just I think even now, if I feel like it's not really well known on what it does, because it does so much and it touches so many areas of a business, and it's hard to really pinpoint exactly what is. Anything can lead to marketing. And so just the last few years, I would say I'm more of a marketer, and being more strategic with the content that's being produced and created for myself or clients. Yeah. So,
Well, all right, man, two great answers, Damon.
Yes.
What do you think, dude? So,
That
hey,
was awesome.
and our Diane Byers in the house. We all know this wonderful woman. So,
Yeah.
Diane, happy Monday to
Diane.
you. Again, drop us a note. Let us know you're out there. Happy Monday to you. We've got Jason Deering. We've got Paula Santana. Paula, let's stick with you. So today, so first off, what a blessing you are to us, everybody here on the stage. And, big shout out to Nicole Donnelly for connecting us many years ago. And so just, you're just such an inspiration, just a wonderful person. Love all the work that you do.
Thanks.
And so today we're talking about website design strategies for manufacturers. Okay. So, you want to make that great first webpression, that word that we love to use. What are some tips? Like, you've working with all sorts of different, we have a nice mix of clients, I want to say, from solopreneurs all the way up to, decent sized manufacturers. What are some of the first tips or ideas, strategies that you want to look for, or that you want to provide for manufacturers that are looking to do a makeover on their website?
Oh gosh, I wish I was a little bit more prepared.
just casual conversation.
Yeah. I think one of the things is right now, the biggest thing for me that I'm looking at is there's so much talk with AI and robots and chatbots and all that. And the first thing I'm really looking for is that human element, that human touch.
Mm-hmm.
What makes this website feel like a human being or a group of human beings are behind the business that's being promoted on this website, or whatever it's being broadcasted on this website? I want to know that there's real people behind this company. It's not some random company. Or if you're a solopreneur and you're trying to, wear all the hats and you need AI's help at a level just to, just help take on the parts of the business that AI can help you with while you're trying to grow your business and grow your team. So I'm always going to be looking for videos about like showing the owner's face or the employees, especially coming from job roles that where I've seen where leadership is so poorly managed and so poorly cared about their clients. I'm not saying that very professionally or very articulately, but just poor management, and seeing how all the employees behind it make a business work. And so that's what I'm looking for, personally speaking, is like, I want to see where the human element is. So if you are using AI for your website, I don't mind that. I just want to see the human part of it too. I want to see the personality of who I'm going to be dealing business with. So I always would go looking just to see, does this copy feel like you're talking to me? Are you speaking my language? And then going to your videos and looking at your blog content. Are you really talking to me from your own experience and how you've helped people?
Yeah.
Hopefully
great.
that all makes sense. Hopefully you can all bring that all into what I'm saying.
That was perfect. So yeah, phenomenal answer. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but Damon, we just sent out an email last week, and the title was, we're talking about, like, there's a running joke of like, hey, did you know every person listens to the same radio station every day?
Mm-hmm.
Same radio station. Jace, do you know what that radio station is? WIIFM, right? They're thinking, what's in it for me? What's in it for me, right? That's my little, hey, that comes from Steve Melito from Fuse Hub, the New York MEP. Steve taught me that one years ago. So, what's in it for me? We want to flip the script. And I love what you're saying, Paul, is like, we want to speak exactly to that ideal customer. We call them soulmates. And like, how do we speak to them and say like, hey, soulmate, we have your back. We understand what you're going through. It's not all about us. It's all about them. Damon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's exactly. The human element is so important in business today, because anybody can spin up something with AI and make it say the technical things, but really given the human element. And what I think is so cool about what we see in website design now is that it's being brought more in. When you talk about the origin stories, we see the backgrounds that you can share now, and the things that are maybe not so much a part of the business, but so important to the people that are dealing with the business.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, Jace, 180 plus websites, that number is just going to keep growing. I think you and I have what, another 30, 40 years ahead of us. How many you'll be at least, right? You'll be well over 1,000 by then. So what do you want to add? Like when you start off with a client and we want to make that great first webpression, Paula just hit a home run with, talking about that human element, personalizing it, video. What are some things that you look for or what are you suggesting?
Yeah, just kind of building off of what Paula was saying. It's important to know exactly who you're selling to, and so you can talk to them, you can build that relationship, right? So it's like building a you're out dating and you're trying to find a significant other, right? You're gonna reach out and you're gonna connect with people that I have this similar thoughts as you, beliefs, blah blah blah, and you're going to want to hang out with those people. You're going to become closer with the ones that show that they have an understanding of your beliefs, your issues, whatever that is. It's the same as in business. People, all kinds of businesses have all kinds of issues. You shouldn't try to tackle everyone's issues as a manufacturer or as a business. You need to figure out a group of people that you relate to the best and try to reach out and build those relationships with those groups and provide solutions for those groups. A lot of manufacturers have problems with that. A lot are job shops. They feel like they should be doing anything they can to make money. But that direction, that marketing strategy is wrong. It just causes so many issues in terms of just advertising and getting customers into your funnel all the way to operations it could affect. And so being a large net trying to catch sharks, minnows, tunas, whales, all kinds of stuff, you're not going to have the right equipment. It's going to fall apart. You're going to have issues. Things are going to slip through. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a lot more difficult to deal with. So staying niched, understanding your customer, and providing great services to help those customers solve their issues. That's what we got to do as manufacturers. And as manufacturers are starting to learn that more, I feel manufacturers are the ones that we're working with. They have a better direction. They have something to work for, and a direction that's much easier to follow than throw it at the wall and hopefully something sticks there.
Yeah, a couple of comments.
Especially if you also have, I was just going to mention, just especially when you have a really tiny or a really one-person marketing, that's going to be really huge because you can't focus. When your department is small, you can't focus on all of those topics. Corporations have dedicated marketing departments. They have several people working so they can tackle different audiences. So that's really key.
Great point.
And if I can just add to that a little bit, and nothing says you can't have multiple niches, but your marketing campaign needs to be siloed for that niche. Niche 1, niche 2, niche 3 has its own campaign, its own landing page, everything, its own language, its own emails, its own campaign. And if you are a solo marketer, handling one campaign at a time is so much easier than let's put some money over here, put some money over here, put some money over here in these directions. Just stay focused, stay in a couple of platforms, just focus on that one niche and nail it.
I tell you, yeah, great point, Chase. And Paul, I love what you're saying there. And I know I personally struggle with this kind of that shiny object syndrome. Do you guys have any tips, suggestions, advice for how do we stay in that niche? How do we stay disciplined to know hey, this is our wheelhouse, let's stay here versus, hey, if we go over here, is this a new opportunity? Or if we go over here, we're just exhausting, good resources, putting in a bad bad opportunity. Paula, anything that you want to add as far as any thoughts, suggestions on how do we stay in our niche? How do we stay disciplined? Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a firm believer in completely niching down, but you have to really know yourself, your product or your service, whatever it is that your business is providing. And it has to make sense. So you just have to get really intimate with your business, take a hard look at it. Kind of one of the things that we do here, we have our digital game plan. I think I love it because it really gets you intimate with your business. You start diving into who you really want to sell to. You dive into your product or your service specifically. And so I think the key first is to dig into yourself. It's self-reflection. It's reflection onto you as a person, an individual, as a business owner, but also you as your product or your service, getting really into your product and understanding what it is that you're really trying to sell. So asking you, questions of your business that really make you take a hard look at yourself in the mirror and really take it, maybe even as from a point of view of your customer, and ask yourself those really hard questions. That's the only advice I could give, because then that's going to allow you to either, okay, maybe I stick to this group, and then I kind of maybe try to see if this does work. And being okay to that, if it fails, that you just go back to it and you try again. Maybe you take a misstep and it might cost you a little bit at the beginning, because I don't want you ever not to try. You never know. For In-N-Out, their business model has worked for all this decade, so they don't really need to change anything. It's where people still buy their product. But maybe for a smaller company, they want to try a little bit something different because they're not In-N-Out. So, I mean, hopefully that makes sense. But
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so it's okay to take chances, but you also got to know yourself and you got to know your business.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a couple comments here real quick. So we've got, hey, Diane says, and Diane, I know Diane loves, she's always talking about holding the mirror up. She does a phenomenal job. She does. She's my accountability buddy. So Diane, she says, using my baseball analogies, which we love, and baseball did start last week, Damon.
Yes,
first website impression is your tryout. You want to make the team and need to impress your coaches, or rather clients. And Zabir, happy Monday to you. Thank you for stopping by. I agree that the code written by human feels much better when you read and review it. So guys, thanks for dropping your comments. Bring on any questions, any comments that you have here. Connect with Paula on LinkedIn, connect with Jason on LinkedIn. Of course, connect with Damon and myself while you're at it. Damon, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think, as we talked about, and when Paula elaborated on, is it would be easy to fall prey to just using AI for everything. But you really do need to go back through, as Zubair said, you need to go back and give it the human touch, right? Because it can help you generate ideas. There's no doubt about it. AI has got some tremendous benefits for helping to generate ideas, helping to generate formats and things. But to connect like you really want it to, and you need it to evoke enough of an emotional response from somebody that they go, wow, I want to read more. I want to learn more. That's the kind of thing that you have to do. And I don't think that, it just is better when it comes from you and from the person in that instance.
Yeah, so let's go. Hey, we've got Harry Flores is in the house. Harry, happy Monday to you, my friend. So happy. God, I love when Harry stops by. He's such an inspiration, isn't he? He's like he's just a great human being. So, Chase, let's go here. 180 websites to make that. We really have one chance to make that great first webpression. I remember you and I had a client probably 10 years ago. I'll never forget this. They were major, massive manufacturer. Their facility was like, they bragged. I can't remember how many football fields they had. They had a client that came to visit them from Milwaukee. They flew in, took a tour of the facility, and they were like, wowzer, like this is phenomenal, blown away. They do big naval defense projects. They landed the client. When the client got ready to leave, he goes, you know what? I'm really grateful I came here because, your website was so bad. I almost didn't come for the tour because I thought if your website's this bad, what does a facility look like? He's like, your website's doing you no favors. This was in 2014. I don't know if you remember who I'm talking about, Chase. But Chase, let's talk about you really got that one chance to show that opportunity that you're a place of trust. Talk a little bit about that first webpression.
Yeah, it's all about knowing your soulmate, the person you're trying to get to become a customer. The more you know that person and the more you're able to speak their language, when they land on that page, you're going to have everything's just going to speak better to them. Your look, your colors, the structure, the very opening section that they see at the top of the website, your hero section has the proper headline and subtext in there that's really stating who you are for and what you do for them. That's super important. And so it really comes down to knowing who you're trying to sell to. And when it's just like, again, if I can go back to the dating type of thing, right? You know, there's certain, you're going to dress a certain way. You're going to, you know, so if we're doing speed dating or something like that, right? You know, you're going to sit down with someone, you're going to look at someone, and immediately you're going to, as shallow as it sounds, you're going to scan them over. You know, some people like nice dress, button up, you know, some like casual hats and, you know, laid back a little bit. And those are your first impressions. But then when they speak, you know, how they speak to you right out of the bat is that it's all part of that first impression.
Right.
And if they are looking for someone like you, they're going to say something, you know, similar. Their tone, their way they're going to speak to you is going to be this. If I'm a little too professional and you're not liking professional, and I come out and speaking professional like I'm a, you know, super high level,
right,
intelligent guy that reads books and programs computers all day long and all that kind of stuff, I might be a turnoff for you. You might like the laid back and casual kind of person. So it's the same type of thing when it comes to your website. And when someone lands on it, you have to, you have to look great, sound great, sound interesting, like someone that your client wants to build a relationship with. And that should be as quick as possible with that top section above the fold section of your website that we tend to call it the hero section.
Yeah.
And Damon, you know, for the dating advice, this comes from a guy who has just a wonderful, amazing, beautiful wife. And so he knows what he's talking about. Kelly Jo, God bless her for hanging out with Jason for all these years. But let's she's one lucky devil, isn't she, Jason? So let's check out an example while we're here, and then we'll start winding down because I know you guys are super busy and I'm keeping everybody. But let's talk about, this is a dear friend of ours, Apparel Redefined. And man, I best mustache here of all time. I love this video. I don't know, Paula, you want to chime in and talk? You're good friends with our friend here, John at Apparel. What's your opinion of what's going on here on the website?
It just catches your attention, really. I actually just started to build a relationship with John and his team, and they're just trying to create really cool content apparel for their customers. And so that's, you know, you get to see how cool they are from the get-go, and you're immediately attracted to it, and you want to get to know this company a little bit more just because you already see examples of their work. You're seeing the social proof of the product that they're producing and helping partnering with the customers and producing on their behalf.
Yeah, I love that video. Jace, just talk a little bit about, you know, kind of the breakdown of the website, and then we'll start wrapping up. Like right here, you've got, you know, trusted by Nike, Adidas, you know, just talk a little bit about the structure of the homepage.
Well, you know, just if we're talking about that trusted by section, that's okay. Back to the dating. That's your blind date type of thing. That's your friend, or not blind date. That's your friend saying, "Hey, so and so is a great catch," you know. And then you get another one that says, "Oh yeah, she's fantastic. Go, you know, have a couple dates with her, enjoy it. You know, great match for you." That kind of thing. Those are those social proofs that, you know, that a person needs to feel comfortable working with someone or having a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
So hugely important. And then as you're coming down the site, we want to, you know, help that visitor to the website know that you understand their issues and what they need, and that you have solutions for them. So as we're working down the page and up above, we're kind of stating a little bit of the issue kind of stuff. And as we're moving down the page, we're showing how our services are solving those issues, how you can work with us. Again, some more social proof here with some testimonials. And that's what as you're going down the page, you just have to make those connections, right? You have to show them that you understand the issue, that you have you have services or products that will help them with those issues, and kind of let them know what that is going to look like while they work with you. And again, you want that help. You want people to tell you how great you are. You don't want to really say how great you are. You want others to tell the visitor how great you are.
So, Paula, this is a website project that you were highly involved with. Anything that you want to share as far as, you know, we had the privilege of working with a high-level entrepreneur. She's going to be coming on the show, Damon, at the end of April. Can't wait to have Dana come on. She's just a dear friend, someone I've followed for 20 years. We were very fortunate to have a project. Paula, any thoughts and comments as far as, working on this website, making a great first webpression?
The biggest thing for me was just like, this is someone who knows her business. And that's kind of going back to what I said earlier, is that she really understands her business. She understands who she is trying to attract, who she's speaking to. She really understands all the facets of her business. And she is humble enough to like say, okay, maybe it's time for a pivot because what we've been doing isn't actually working anymore. And so I think for her in this particular project, she really understood what she needed, what she wanted, and was able to marry that and able to create this new website that is fitting that need and that direction that she wants to take her business to. So that my biggest takeaway from this one is customer who really, for our point, she's our client, but it's just someone who really understands her business.
Yeah. Jason, anything that you want to add?
No, I totally agree with that. It's important. Again, it's very important to know who you're selling to, and how your business is solving those issues, and all the different ways that you have to help your clients, and really understand that. And when you have that understanding, your marketing is so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a life a lot easier. Boy, just staying disciplined, staying in your lane. Damon, any takeaways, thoughts that you want to share as we wrap up?
Well, I think these are great examples, and it all, I mean, thinking of the conversation here, it comes back to really understanding your customers super well, understanding how you specifically help them, and then communicating that succinctly. I mean, I don't know how many websites we visit now where you go to the hero section of the homepage. And what I mean is what you first see when you open it up on your phone, computer, whatever, and it doesn't clearly articulate how the heck this company, this person, whatever, is really interacting with the world and how they're making it a better place, right? And all the way down through what you guys talked about, but that simple. I mean, no one wants to hear you puke up about how you're great at atomic physics and you can change the world with your molecular blah, 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 because you lost me 5 seconds ago. We didn't know that, hey, we're creating new energy that's going to solve world problems. All right, there we go. I understand what it is. And as B2B, as manufacturers that we work with, we're typically a bit more technical. And what we see time in and time out is that it's too technical and it needs to be clear, and it just got to be simple.
Right. Keep it simple. All right. We'll close out. Chase, what we're going to share as we close out.
I was just going to say, we were talking about AI, using AI as a tool. We're talking about, getting a new website, and a lot of people want to scrimp on their website and they want to save money on the website. And when the final outcome, you could go to some of those free platforms and build a decent website. But if you don't know how to speak to your customer, or getting in depth and all that, you don't know what to say in the hero, what to say in the section, the problem solving section, and you don't know what to say on your website, right? So I love that people want to take the initiative and build their own website, take the cheaper routes, but you really need to put some effort into it. You really need to understand the customer, what you're saying, even how it's being displayed on the website, all that. So again, it's so important. It's so important to use your website as a marketing tool for your business, and think of it as an asset for your business and not something that just sits there, hopefully just spits some lead at you. You have to use it as a vital asset of your business. And spend some money to get a great one.
Drop the mic, Jason Deering. That was fantastic. And so what we'd love to say is, to make that great first webpression, how do you help that ideal buyer make a buying decision on a Friday night at midnight without having to wait for you to open up your door on Monday morning? Paula, take us home, my friend. Parting thoughts, words of wisdom. What would you? How about Harry says, it's not AI when you hear puke up from Damon on a Monday. Yep, Damon dropped the mic on that one. So, Paula, take us home. Parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you'd like to share as we're talking about making a great first webpression.
Yeah, I think one of the things kind of just stood out when Damon was talking is that it all comes really down to your branding and how are you sharing your brand with your customer in the world. And a lot of times people confuse branding as just being visual assets, and that is part of it, but your website is part of your branding because it's the first step that if I'm interested in or I need something, I go to your website. It's the first moment I'm going to be interacting with you. And it's going to set the precedent of how our relationship is going to be, whether it's on the website or I'm talking to you on the phone or there's email. And so it brings that relationship. It starts to bring about, like, you know, one of the things I've been told as I was growing up using Jason's dating structure is, you know, how does the man treat his mom? Is his mom treating him? What does he treat his mom well, right? Because then that's how he's going to treat you. So website starts that process of like, okay, is this website treating me well? First impression, are you communicating well? And I would just say one thing, like I do like AI. I am not totally sold on AI for a number of reasons. As a creative person, as a artist, you know, I have my issues and concerns with it. So I would say this, like, if you are going to use AI, like, what we've all been saying is you do need to know your business, because even whether you or yourself are using AI or you're having another company use AI for you, you still need to know that what they're giving you is actually really what you need and want. And it is actually speaking to your customer. So you do have to have that accountability on your own to have some education behind that, whether that's self-taught or a formal class or, you know, whatever, just taking that moment to self-reflect. And if you have the opportunity, work with those human counterparts first before you start throwing in AI. You know, take the time to spend money. And that's not just for websites, that's just for in general. Like, you know, talk to people. It's okay to be human.
Drop the mic there, Paula. I absolutely love that. And so, you know, we just showed our dear friend John from Apparel Redefined. Encourage everybody to check out the Apparel Redefined website. Check out Belladonna website. Those are two great examples. We'll have those in the show notes. But Paula, what John always talks about is like, what's your brand promise? And so he does apparel, and he's always talking about, like, you know, that is your brand promise, and that is your website. Your website is your brand promise. You know, our, you know, we make the world a better place by doing X, you know. So, all right. Damon, parting thoughts, words of wisdom, my friend. Anything you got?
I just think there's been an awesome conversation today.
Man, and I told these guys I will go 20, 30 minutes, and I think we're 40 minutes in. So I'm keeping everybody on overtime. It's like way over. So
great,
Jason, thank you, dude. Love you, brother. Paula, thank you. You are amazing. You're such a blessing to us. So everybody out there, have a wonderful, amazing, incredible rest your day, rest your week. Damon, we're back here Friday. You know what's happening on Friday?
Yes, I do.
We're getting interviewed on our own live show. How's that? So the script is being flipped. We've got 3 women from the broadcast of manufacturers. It's Aaron, Chris, and Lori Hybe. All 3 of them are going to be coming on the show, and they came on. They're like, we're flipping a script. We're interviewing. So you're going to be ready?
I'm studying.
Are you studying? All right. Yeah. We got it. So, So anyway, all right, we'll close out. Paula, Jace, hang out with us for 1 second. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, please reach out to any one of us on LinkedIn. Drop us a note. We're here for you. And hey, just go out and be someone's inspiration, just like these 2, and you too will make the world a better place. So we'll see you on Friday.
Awesome.
Thank you.